with how they were performing earlier against Oxygen, there is a lot of potential so far for these guys to make a run all the way to the grand finals, in my opinion. You got Casio, who is shooting so well, and also Flame. I think he's been on fire today, and again, no pun intended. Just how it is.
Just how it is. As far as the Giants go, you know, Stake and Zamway have been playing as well as we've seen them play even since the first split, and it can't really be understated how Itachi comes right in and these guys look really solid. You get a look at different teams. Here's a bump play that's saved by Flame, but it kicked right back out for Itachi, and Archie will pick up the save next. Vodafone Giants have a couple of quick opportunities to start it off. Another pass play in front. Itachi found the far side. Pixel perfect placement. Goal for the Giants.
A lot of pressure just off the first kickoff, almost 40 seconds in. A nice little midfield pass from Zamway, who, if you remember back to the auction series, Zamway was the one who was clutching things out for the Giants. Now coming out here, still carrying that momentum. I like to see more of that midfield passing working out for the Giants, who are a very pass-orientated team. And you can see in that first play right away.
And another thing to look out for the top blokes is the passing as well. That's why I have a feeling, I just have that feeling about this kind of set, where you get a lot of good opportunities, infield passes, or unconventional passes as well. You know, Casio, he in particular loves to go up on the opponent's back wall, backboard, and be an option for his team to just kick it up, make it look like you're gonna go for something else, but instead you go for a quick pass, vertical pass, and Flame goes vertical but can't find the touch. The Giants gonna kick it back off.
Nice little chip shot too from Archie earlier on, and you can see pressure building a bit for top blokes, who usually need to go for a bit more passing. But I think that their roster, you know, as the series continues, top blokes then start to perform much better. I think they're one of those teams that needs to feel out the situation a bit more before we see maybe a peak performance. And Vodafone Giants, they're starting off on the right foot.
Ooh. Well, Cassidy was able to win that challenge, but Flame wasn't in the right spot for it. And it might come down to feeding the ball to Archie for top blokes. While their passing has been excellent at times, they're really at their best when Archie's the guy striking off the crossbar this time, and Flame tried to be quick and couldn't get too far around the ball. Archie, another shot denied again. The Giants preventing a couple of opportunities from top blokes, and another clear for Stake.
I've always been a big fan of Casio as well. Talking about Archie, see him up right now, see what he's got. Not the best hit, actually whiffed the ball in the air, a bit close to the ceiling. Still going for that unique play that you talked about, Joby, where you're hanging on the backboard. We're going to need to see a few more possessions like this, and the midfield passing still solid for top blokes, but they're getting outpaced in the midfield. There's a challenge earlier that led up to this shot opportunity for Stake.
Yeah, Archie was just a little too far off. Itachi was just sitting with Archie in midfield, and he had a perfect launch. His read was instantaneous. That's what he needed to beat Archie on that play, and he beat him by a good bit. So like you said, that one challenge in midfield just comes from solid positioning from Itachi.
We just came off of a fantastic series that is an example of man coverage in this game. I mean, BDS, if you watch that previous one against Vitality, they were predicting every single pass, staying close to members of Vitality so they could intercept it. You can see the Giants now doing the same exact thing with Itachi in the midfield, staying close to an opponent, assuming where that pass is going to go, leads to so many more opportunities.
It wasn't the best initial clear from Casio. Itachi was waiting for him, and now he'll wait for a pass from Zamway. He'll get back to it. The top blokes having struggles right now, hanging on to the ball. It's already 9 shots for the Giants to the 4 for top blokes. On the transition, they'll move back downfield, but they haven't really found a lot of success in the boost or passing game. They get 2 off there. They got the 1 corner boost, and the ball's locked here for a little bit, so if they can't put a shot on target, they can at least collect that midfield boost. Making it a little harder for the Giants to break out. We're now struggling to find a clear. Archie, nothing there just yet, and another shot denied by Zamway. Or Stake, excuse me. Back to Zamway.
Oh, maybe.
And
that's
did.
in? Okay.
Wow.
The midfield from the Giants. I mean, they're winning every single pass up. Stake has all the space in the world. Flame actually decides to go for a turn there, which is a bit inconvenient for Archie trying to rotate back. A little bit late on the rotation. You need to just rotate completely to your own net if you're Flame there. You can't go for boost. You can't try to challenge if you've hesitated that long. The Giants, they have been striking so well, even if it's from the midfield. That speed is just on another level.
The positioning just seems to be the main difference, where Giants have cut off a lot of attempted transitions from Top Blokes in midfield. And then Top Blokes, other than that, have really struggled to find each other in the attacking half when they have been there. It's been a lot of fights in the corner like this, and Flame just missing the crossbar. Another follow-up, it's light, and the rest of Top Blokes sitting back waiting for the return. Flame will pick it up and then get slapped out of the way. But this is exactly what's been happening to Top Blokes. They keep getting shut down in this corner.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's mostly the corner play for Top Blokes. They try to roll this ball up into the corner and then force a 50 that could squeeze down to the midfield, but the Giants aren't having any of it. Every single challenge that you see go forward in that corner gets denied, it slips out, and then somebody, that second man in defense, rotates out to get the follow-up hit, and then they can move forward, and that's why they have so much pressure in the midfield. That transition game as Itachi gets a demo on Casio, relieves all this pressure, and look, they can just move out pretty easily. Final 10 seconds. The Giants, great first game.
A very clean game for the Giants. They handled the little bit of pressure that Top Blokes were able to put on, who finished with 8 shots on net, but you know, there were a couple opportunities for them early on. Flame, in particular, had a couple of shot opportunities that he either missed on because he tried to finesse it, or like at the end, seeing that hit on the crossbar. But by that time, the Giants had already built up such a high lead that it was going to be difficult for Top Blokes to get anything done.
And this individual game wasn't even too close. There wasn't a lot of stressful situations for the Giants. And I'm also a bit worried for Top Blokes because in the series of the Giants versus Team Queso, the Giants went into 3 or 4 overtimes in a row, stayed calm, kept their composure. So whenever they already been forced in awkward situations, of course, it's going to be a breeze for them. Now, even if Top Blokes increase their performance in the midfield, it's still going to be a great game for the Giants because of that composure and what we've seen all throughout the first few series of today.
Now, for game number 2, you definitely want to see Top Blokes establish some confidence early if they can. They don't have to win the kickoff to start the game, but at least get some solid clears and try to break out a little quicker than they were able to earlier, and maybe not feel as much of a sense of urgency and having your third man get blown out in midfield. Giants killing them on the transition, but Top Blokes get the kickoff and they get the goal. So that's probably the best way you can start if you're the Top Blokes.
You mentioned they don't even have to win the kickoff, but certainly they'll take it. Steak tries to cheat up a bit, slips under the ball, and that's happened a lot actually recently. Even Astro on a kickoff earlier today missed a huge cheat. And it's just such a crucial part to not be too eager off the kickoff. Thankfully, if you're a Top Blokes fan, they're gonna come back with a better hit. And is this one in?
What?
Zamway, the pinch into the corner. I can't believe it.
Oh, how does Zamway get this? Oh, he uses Archie. Archie.
What?
Archie was just teeing it up to him, and that allowed Zamway to just pinch it right off of his bumper, off the ceiling, and sometimes the parabola works your way, Turtle. That time it did for Zamway.
Imagine you're a Top Blokes player. You get the kickoff goal. You're thinking, all right, this is a different game. Then all of a sudden, a pinch off the ceiling, you still bounce back, though. Flame, he's not letting that pinch infiltrate his mentality at all.
Good follow-up here from Flame. He had that read pretty early. It can be tough sometimes when the ball's rolling up to get to figure out, okay, that one's just going to roll. Sometimes it kicks out off that top corner where the ceiling and the wall meet, but Flame had it perfectly, had the pre-flip as well. It was just a nice progression and nice shot from Flame to give Top Blokes another lead. It's certainly, you're fighting from a much better position if you're Top Blokes. You don't feel like you're making up for lost time at every step. Oh, Steak almost snuck it in, but it banged off the post. Here's another one from Zamway, gets under it for Steak, and that shot's blocked by Archie, who hung on that back wall for a little while and finally could come down on that last shot. Top Blokes, what they struggled with in the last game was breaking out of their own half, especially early on in game 1. Zamway puts another one on, and it bounces off the crossbar, but Casio on the rotation back keeps things clean for now. Top Blokes handling the ball pretty well structurally, haven't double committed or panicked at all, and they get the clear.
I think this is the best game strategy for Top Blokes whenever they're shying away a bit in the midfield and instead want to place a trap for the Giants to just give away possession like this. Instead of trying to outpace them in the midfield, they just want to push back a little bit. The Giants now with every clear does go to an opponent that's on Top Blokes. Even that play right there, Flame was waiting in the midfield instead of trying to compete with the speed of that challenge. He waited a little bit farther back and he got free possession.
Giants getting a little tied up on defense. Top Blokes continue to progress past the corner. Casio challenging Itachi across the backboard. going to be Flame's opportunity now, and that did not kick the way he was hoping for. Steak keeps the ball locked, tried to bump Archie, failed at it. Zamway, quick follow-up back to Steak, shot is denied. It was a little wide, and a beautiful follow-up from Archie to take away the option. Quick counter for Flame, just off the backboard, and Cassio converts into another goal.
Talking about transition, this was lovely from everyone on Top Blokes. We had the save initially from, I believe it was Cassio, who cleared it out. Then Flame comes in with the assist off the backboard for an easier follow-up. Everyone from Top Blokes decided to move up at the exact same time. They didn't let that close opportunity that the Giants got phase them, and they were able to push out.
But the Giants are always lurking in midfield. If they have a lead guy for a passing play past that midfield line, they're going to opt for it, especially in the short range distance, if you will. But you don't see them go for those like long passing plays a lot of the time. They definitely favor controlling it. Where Zamway had the nice launch, but Flame was all over you on that play. But it is still tough to sneak this ball away from Top Blokes. They grab another one. Cassio over to Archie, and he missed.
Almost a good attempt there from Flame. He sacrificed his car and also took one other player out with him. Nice little demo. This one again off the same post. The Giants have done a good job recognizing that they have space, but they haven't had the best dribbles. That's what I've noticed. Whenever there is space given to them, they're just flicking it right into the opponent. Maybe not too prepared to go for a better solo or 1v1 play. They need somebody to step up in that regard.
Oh, and to give Top Blokes a little bit of credit, too, they've kind of shut down a lot of options for the Giants to roll out on the dribbles. So, you know, maybe part of them slowing down is because a lot of the angles are closed. Archie, he'll benefit off of that feels backflip. But had the Giants attacker not done that, then this might not have happened. Instead, Archie floats down from the top and picks up a goal.
This is the second time it's happened now. Cassio was rotating back. Before it was Flame. He finds somebody who's trying to run back because he notices a clear could happen. Instead, Cassio just takes out that last man rotating back from the Giants. Easier space given up. And Top Blokes, massive turnaround. I didn't expect it. The first game seemed a bit off from them. Even after they got the kickoff goal, they conceded right away, but it has been a resilient game from them, to say the least.
Ooh, Zamway couldn't get away from Archie on the play, and it's completely flipped. If the Giants were dominant in game number 1, then Top Blokes have evened the score.
Oh, and it's just the control aspect. Zamway panicking in the corner. Steak could have even dribbled it across the field. Instead, Zamway just pinched it right out. Top Blokes, they're very patient in the midfield. They're very calm whenever it comes to approaching those corners now. Previously, we talked about it in the first game. Every time they toss themselves into a corner, they just flip right into that 50, and it would never go their way. Instead, they're waiting a bit more on the walls, and that clear comes right to them, and then they can have a midfield pass afterwards.
Itachi finally sneaks this in, but it took a lot to get by them. Top Blokes stretched a little laterally. It was the double commit at the end, and Archie having to dive to make up for it. Maybe could have waited, but either way, you know, you're sitting on a 4-goal lead. One goes in, you're not feeling too bad about it for Top Blokes. Giants trying to rebuild some confidence as we approach the final minute. Oh, how do the Giants kick off from here? If you're not looking to, you know, if game 2 starts to feel out of reach, where do the adjustments have to come for game number 3? They get a couple of wins here. Maybe if they score on this opportunity, you start talking about a chance at it, but now you're looking at adjustments. They don't have that same midfield dominance. They weren't able to cut off the Top Blokes passes as consistently as they did in game 1.
Yeah, and I mean, there's really not too much midfield presence from Top Blokes. It's just speed like this in the defense from Archie. He completely outpaced that opponent and was able to get a massive clear. Now everybody on the Giants is confused on how to rotate. A nice little pass from the top lip of the stadium goes down. They've got the process locked in, Jorby. This is Top Blokes so far with a massive recovery.
Looking very solid, and the Giants, that's a couple of times now. It happened to Zamway earlier, and now Itachi, where they're coming back to either grab that ball on the rebound or after the rebound to take the shot option away. But the reads have not been clean. At all, and whether they've been in tough spots or not, like that was a tough spot for Itachi to be in, and make the argument for garbage time all you want. You know, Zamway, when it wasn't garbage time, had a similar misread. So Giants, I think that backboard has been their worst enemy in game number 2. They've been able to break out, but then Top Blokes' defense has really prevented them from keeping the ball locked in the blue half, and a couple of missed opportunities along the way. So a lot that can be fixed for the for the Giants, but Top Blokes. Excellent return to form to tie up the set.
Yeah, and I'm happy because we just got a sweep from BDS against Vitality. Hopefully this one will go the distance. We love game 7s here. That one's going to drop down. Top Blokes again. The recovery, too nice, but you can surely expect the Giants to pick up a couple of aspects. You mentioned it yourself, Jorby. The backboard defense wasn't spectacular. A lot of gaps exploited for Top Blokes, and also the midfield presence. I want to see that be a little bit more aware. The Giants, sometimes when they do go down for dribbles, it doesn't seem like they're doing too much with it. And overall, I think if the Giants can gather a little bit more possession with the speed early on, because they're not outpacing anybody on the defense at Top Blokes. You have to start that pass in midfield instead of in the corners.
And Zamway getting that lone goal early on, that was interesting. But then it all fell apart right there. There's one of the backboard reads that Zamway ended up missing. And that 150 in front that the Giants just weren't ready for. And that just kept happening to the Vodafone Giants. So now for Top Blokes, you're happy to get as much leeway as you got, on a couple breakaway opportunities, catching the third man out of rotation on Giants. That I definitely expect the Giants to make some adjustments here, and we might have a much closer game 3.
Yeah, and we've got the new pickup, Itachi, again, just making waves for the boys on Vodafone Giants. Always been impressed with him and his defense, which is why I think that if he's on the backboard a bit more, that's where it can make a difference in what we're looking for, at least for the defense of the Giants. He's always been a great player who can read the play a bit more. And now the midfield pass, this starts earlier, which is what I wanted to see from the Giants, getting that pass off a little bit sooner than you would before. Now all this pressure can be started. Archie with the miss, still cleared out by Casio, but Giants already on the right foot.
Yeah, they didn't necessarily get another shot in front there, but they did keep the midfield boost theirs. And Top Blokes have to work a lot harder to get the clear out. The rest of them pull off. Stake has an option downfield, but that option is going to give the ball back to Stake, and challenged by Flame and Casio, Zatachi flies back in. Giants going to keep the offensive pressure. They know they can break down Top Blokes if they stay in here long enough. They did in game 1. Looking for the repeat. Up high again against for Flame. Back over down to Archie from Casio, and it's denied by Stake, but a nice transition for Top Blokes.
Yeah, this is a lovely performance so far in game 3 from Archie. I've noticed his rotations. A lot of times he'll trust his teammates to go out for mid boost, and he can just leave them in the backfield. He takes the boost over that you were saying is so crucial, that midfield full boost pad. Whoever has control of that pretty much has control of that offense. Archie has been annoying for the Giants. They can't get anything in the midfield. He's taking all the boost pads, and that's what's helping Top Blokes relieve some of this pressure and then get the save to Archie. This is a great performance.
Yeah, Archie, sitting on the back wall there, impressive to have the pass read a little early, and the patience as well. Because Stake could have definitely taken the shot option there, and it wasn't exactly clear until right when he got to the ball, but Archie could see both players lining up for that pass. It was definitely more telegraphed than the Giants were maybe hoping for, but Archie keeps finding himself in that crucial defensive spot, Turtle, that you were talking about, and he'll fling it down to midfield again. And now Giants just trying to test Top Blokes on these high-flying boomers. Maybe they can get a rebound down off of them. Top Blokes are struggling now to break out. High one for Casio to handle. That'll be Zamway's ball. He's got one option in front of the box. He's a little close to it. Yeah, he'll end up taking away the shot. Unfortunate, just ran out of boost on the attempted carry.
Yeah, that happens so frequently whenever you can't hit the ball with more momentum. You just end up flying into it, blocking out the 50. But still, look at the defense now from the Giants. As you can see, the backboard gets cleared a lot more consistently, Stake now on the turnaround to get this clear out. So much speed in the midfield. Instead of waiting, they're actually just outpacing everybody on Top Blokes. It's just been different throughout this whole series, Jordan.
Now, you see Giants trying to get a little more creative in how they're passing the ball. Sitting up high in the corner. Maybe even a pre-jump might be what it takes to get by this Top Blokes defense. That one was a little close. Still wrapping around the edge, though. It is really difficult to get by Top Blokes right now. Archie flings it up again, but Itachi dumps it back down to Zamway. Back to Itachi. The catch was good enough. He's got to get back to it and wins the 50. Here's Stake up, but Archie was there to defend it again. 4 saves for Archie. Count the 3 for Casio, and that shows you how much defense that Top Blokes have had to play, but it's been top tier.
Well, they're laying that bear trap out. I think they're just waiting for a perfect counterattack. They're fine with playing all this defense. Now, on one possession, you can already see how threatening they are once they move forward. Steak now on the dribble. Still not too much for the Giants. They have gotten more creative. The defense from top Blokes still a threat, and that counterattack is going to be crucial.
And there's still a lot of thought behind these 50s from all 6 players. Whether they try to kick it out to the side, they're always looking for the gap. Neither team feels like they're being gassed and have to hurry back up to each 50. Each team thinks that they're in control or thinks that they have the next 50 that can win it. And I think that's part of why you just see this game at a deadlock. Here's a pass that Cassio can't connect on. Flame, it was a little juicy, but that one Cassio definitely could have handled. Now they're in trouble. Flame got tied up, so Cassio, it bounces over his head. Flame grabs the rebound. That was dangerous. Got right under Itachi, and he did for now, but top Blokes defense maybe starting to spread a little thin.
Flame on that save had barely any boost. I think he had 10 in his tank. Still had to go for the save, pre-flipped into it to make sure he could get any contact and still got a touch. Massive play from Flame as they continue now. It's still tied up. This top Blokes defense is not going to break down.
Itachi, last man back, has to buy a little bit of time. One of the best to do it. He'll buy that and even a little bit more. How about a chance on offense? No, they're going to let it die. Cassio.
Oh, no, it's still up.
It refuses to let anything fade. That one off the back wall. Now we go to OT. 0-0 in game number 3. Now the kickoff. This will be all Itachi now. But Cassio gets in front of another one. A defensive bout turns into maybe an opportunity for the Giants to start put on some crushing offensive pressure. But they're going to need to start harassing this top Blokes team. There, Archie got bumped off the play, and now a pass downfield. Zamway will kick it way high. Top Blokes easily got the boomer out. Whew. That 50 could be dangerous. Steak gets the first save, but they need to get another one. Zamway gets the touch out, but Flame beats him there. Top Blokes, no. Zamway comes clean again off the back wall. Goes straight under. Ooh, I like that dump off. Little delay from Zamway back to Steak. 2-on-1 maybe? No, Cassio's gonna leave for Archie. Kicks back out in front again, and plays are developing out of nowhere.
Yeah, what more could you expect from the two teams in Europe who passed the most? This is so incredible. Zamway now going for something cheeky in the midfield. Doesn't have too much to offer, and it's still delayed challenges from top Blokes. You notice that sometimes the Vodafone Giants will go up in the air, try to hit maybe a flip reset, and they expect a faster challenge from top Blokes, but nothing comes. They end up giving away possession.
Ooh, Archie just getting on that side of the challenge. He has been really good in his 50 game. It may come down to Archie for top Blokes if they want to win game 3. He's going to be behind the ball this time, and that one kicked out away from him. Not the touch Archie wanted, but Flame will be there to cover. Cassio with the follow-up, and that bounce off the ceiling is exactly what top Blokes needed for a clear. But now can they get set up on offense? This has been an issue when they get to the orange half of the field. They haven't been able to really get past this corner. Stands a couple of shots. Cassio demo's the last man, but Steak's the guy behind the ball.
Yeah, even with the demo involved. Another one, Itachi. This time taking out Cassio, some revenge. Archie pushing forward. We're seeing top Blokes get a bit more confident now. Pushing up instead of setting that trap down. I'm a little bit worried, though. I don't like seeing this top Blokes get more aggressive. I still think their best performance is in that counterattack.
Flame's going to take this one and, forced it wide. And two Giants players almost got tied up, but they ended up working in perfect synergy to get that ball out around the corner. But now the Giants are starting to feel the pressure from top Blokes. Archie has a demo to give him space, but no, he got a little too fast across the backboard, and the top Blokes, excuse me, have to try again with about half a game of Rocket League played in overtime. Is there any angle for them to get out here? They have to pass it back to Archie to find it, and now they just got to play dump and chase. Archie getting the ball, the bump in front, but still, Turtle, just nothing coming out for top Blokes to work with at all, and the same for Giant.
Yeah.
Nobody is giving any ground on defense, even with bumps and demos.
It's a stalemate. It's challenge after challenge, some decent midfield passes, but nothing will get past that second man defender. Maybe one player will dive at it in the 1v1, but once another one rotates in, both teams can't counter that rotation, and we're just stuck with 50s. Even when demos happen on the field, it's not enough to break down either of the defense.
Well, the passes are getting closer and closer to connecting in front of the box. Here comes one rebound. And it's a high ball. That's not going to be anything for Top Blokes to work with. But Flame grabs the next touch. Slows it down, pass in front to Casio. The option is covered by Itachi again. Quick follow-up from Zamway. Called off on the play with Steak. Itachi will kick it downfield again.
And right there, Itachi just boomed it into the corner. Instead, he could have simply went down, gone for a solo play. And they're just prioritizing maybe passing a bit too much. I hate saying that, but at this point, if nothing's going across the box, maybe slow it down in the midfield, go for that flick on, force somebody to dive, and then you can move forward.
Well, here's how much Top Blokes have been struggling to generate offense. They have 3 shots on net with 9 minutes of Rocket League played. And there's 12 for the Vodafone Giants. Top Blokes, as good as the defense has been, they've had 10 saves on net. It might all end right here. Shot is denied, but all 3 have committed, and it's a loose ball in the third. But Itachi just kicks it up high. All right, Casio, you find it clear. And Steg picks it right back up, hops over one, denies Archie the challenge. Zamway next up for the Giants, off the stealing pass to Itachi. He missed the ball. Archie might have a breakaway, kicks it downfield to make it awkward for Steak, and he's gonna try to kick back down. Casio winning 150, and it's gonna die there. Nice 3-point passing play for the Giants, but where does it get you when your last man, or the guy who connects on the last pass, gets bumped off the play? No real way for the Giants to advance forward. Here might be one for Zamway. Off the back wall, and the shot's denied. Archie and Casio collide for the save.
Nothing is working for the Giants. With all this pressure, so many passes that are now starting to make it across the box, even when a double commit occurs for Top Blokes, they can recover. This is fantastic defense. How long will it last, or will they get that counterattack they have been hunting for all overtime long?
Top Blokes trying to go for that blindside pass earlier. They got another shot. Now the offense heats up after 5 minutes of overtime. Here's Casio. Has Archie on the far right side, and Itachi makes the defensive play yet again. He missed, but Casio respected his ability to hit it there. Didn't matter. Top Blokes got the clear out. Now Giants. Itachi got bumped up to the ceiling. Now Casio has a lane, and Itachi again lands back for the deny. He's back on the far side, but Casio there is denied by Steak. The Giants meeting every blue car with an orange touch. Here's another catch for Zamway. Desperately needs a clear for the Giants, but Itachi yet again gonna follow this up. The Top Blokes have a lane in midfield. Archie wants to make it so. Passed out in the box. Very aggressive positioning from Casio, hopping right on top of that challenge. Top Blokes feeling frustrated after 6 minutes of overtime. They still can't find the back of the net. Zamway takes away another pass.
This defense is incredible. Absolutely incredible. We haven't seen one team not meet a shot or meet a challenge. There's been no break in rotation. Somebody always has an answer for any single shot that's going to get put on target, or even a pass that comes across.
And Giants much cleaner on the backboard, obviously. They haven't had to defend it that much until this overtime, but they've handled it every single time, and it's in no small part to the Steak, who has 5 saves out of the 7 for Giants. Oh, Archie had to dive back for a Top Bloke save, and Flame gets downfield to Casio, who wins this 50, but there's not really an angle for either Flame or Archie to take. They have to wait for the bounce, and those 50s are really hard to get your team set up for another offensive attack. That 50 could be favorable, but Archie's not positioned for it. He has to wrap back around. Flame has to jump the distance. Archie harassing the net, but Itachi takes away the option on the backboard.
Nobody wants to take the risk, Jorby. At the end of the day, no team wants to position forward assuming that challenge isn't going to go their, or that challenge is going to go their way, excuse me. And instead, they're pushing a little bit farther back. So if it does roll across the net, they don't have a man ready for the answer, and they don't have that final shot.
Flame on the carry, able to get it by Steak. In trouble are the Giants, but Zamway bails them out. Itachi was stuck on the back wall. He might have had it, but Flame still threatening. Archie grabs that one away from Steak. Itachi coming back to give Zamway a chance and backup. Zamway didn't need it this time. Flame.
Oh, maybe here,
long
Casio.
pass. Casio back to Flame. There it is. Top Bloke score after 7 grueling minutes of overtime. They take game 3.
They have been waiting for this counterattack. The monster clear from Flame, back to Casio, into Flame yet again. The 7-minute overtime has come to an end with a counterattack. Top Blokes, through all that defense, still come out on top. The Giants, you have to hand it to them and their ability to keep pressure, but they could not get any opportunities on the net.
Archie was one touch away from
Wow.
1,000 points. He had 998 points. Just couldn't quite get there. Close one. Close one all around. I mean, this was... You want to talk about how to play perfect defense, Turtle? I think both teams really showed you how to. They pulled off exactly when they needed to. They'd relax the rotation as soon as they feel things tighten up on the attacking end. And then as soon as they'd see an option to tighten up the rotation on offense and play that quick, aggressive, third man make the aggressive challenge in front of the box. Hey, we have the angle here to actually take that second to third man short pass for a quick shot on net. They would take it, but the other team was always ready for them. And Steak and Archie, especially. Archie had nine saves on net. 9 of them. And he had to make some tough ones, Turtle.
Yeah, none of these guys wanted to take the risk. I touched on it earlier in that overtime that they were positioning farther back. If there was a 50 that was occurring on the offensive side, they didn't want to risk their own positioning and go to the other side of the net because then they'd be slower to rotate back. And instead that resulted in just a very, very long overtime with either team wanting to play very defensively. So we'll see if, maybe that's a wake-up call for the Giants to be aggressive. I feel like the risk would have been much more worth it instead of waiting for that counterattack opportunity to give the top Blokes.
I really believe it all comes down to these... I just think it comes down to these micro 1v1s now. We talk about the challenge angles. We talk about Archie playing pinball wizard. Put the wizard's hat on the man's topper. He's got the first goal.
Oh, Castillo popped this one beautifully in. And Zamway, I thought he got the save. If Archie didn't get up maybe a millisecond as fast as he did, Zamway certainly would have had some better contact and block out the shot. Still Archie, the speed to jump up, playing pinball like you said, Jorby. Top Blokes, I mean, are they going to start running away with the series with that previous overtime win? You've got to be feeling good.
Those are always fun goals, Turtle, because, you obviously you just throw your car at the ball, and then sometimes that happens, and it's always funny to watch it bounce 3 or 4 times in quick succession before it finds its way to the net. Quick pass in front for Giants, and they come away empty again. This is where Giants have to be careful on offense. It can be really easy to get frustrated that you put so much offensive output, and you come away empty. You're unable to score in over 10, 11 minutes of Rocket League played now. I mean, even more than that. Here's a shot, and they might get it. No, Flame takes away the goal, and he gets a pass downfield to Castillo. Castillo stuffs Steak on the play, but Archie has to turn right back around for Zamway. Atachi slowing it down. Archie bumping Zamway and allows Castillo the lane in to come pick up the save.
Top Blokes, their rotations are spotless right now. Whenever they're rotating in, and then Steak, it doesn't matter how good your rotations are. Somebody was in the net, but this shot, too overwhelming for them to handle.
121 kilometers per hour. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, Flame. That ball's in your net before you can make the read. Well, Giants got their first goal in, you do the quick math on it, it's 15 minutes, about 15 minutes of Rocket League had been played since the Giants last scored.
Yeah.
So now they can put all of that behind them, or maybe they get put right back into that spot. Instead, they have a 2-on-1 situation, and Zamway takes it himself, Bardowski in, 2-1 Giants.
Oh, and it's a quick turnaround from Steak to beat out Castillo. That's the riskiest we've seen Castillo surprisingly go for that. Normally, he rotates back. The one risk that Top Blokes do take with Castillo results in a goal for the Giants. And that just goes to show how passive everybody on Top Blokes has been with their rotation.
Oh, Castillo wins another good 50 in front. The Steak actually just straight up wins the ball in the corner, and Atachi got the lead on the bounce. There you go, Giants.
I mean, look at the speed of how this gets done. Steak, the pre-flip pass, it was so clean. My goodness, I have such an appreciation for passes like that where you have to already determine where that ball is going to go. Pre-flip into the spot, get the touch. The speed from the Giants picked up, Dorby. This is great.
Turtle, I have a feeling you're OG pre-flip gang, no?
Yes.
You always get hyped for the pre-flips.
Yes, sir.
I love it. I love it too. Oh, Atachi. It was a light shot, but almost. It wasn't light. Not when it just stayed in front of the box there. And Zamway, real close, has enough boost to follow it the whole way through. And Zamway paves the path for Atachi. Giants popping off.
And they're doing it with solo plays. Take it yourself. Take one defender out. Zamway, he's got the skill to do it himself. He also gets the bump on Flame to add a little spice to the goal. The Giants, instead of focusing on all the team passes across the field, instead take it yourself, confidence flowing through their veins.
Much more efficient. Off the 10 shots, they've scored 4. You can't ask for much better on the accuracy for the Giants, where they shot almost 20 times on net last game. Or not 20. It felt like 20. It was closer to 15. It came away empty. We flip-flop a couple times in this series, Turtle. This time, though, Giants finding their Game 1 form. Or Game 3, I thought would be indicative of the rest of this set, but after you play almost an 8-minute overtime, in a best-of-7 that already goes marathon mode with each passing game, that overtime just adds to the stress, adds to the fatigue, if you will. Flame. Back to Archie. 3-point passing play to Cassio is denied by Itachi.
Well, even in terms of speed, when you compare the teams, you'd have to give the upper hand to the Giants. I think that these guys are a little bit faster than everybody on top Blokes, just as a whole. And they are making use of it now. Instead of playing into the trap that gets set out for top Blokes, they know to utilize that speed early and start going, first of all, with those solo plays. Not the best touch from Itachi, of course. He's going to clean it up. Jorby, this looks like we're going to get a Game 7. We have to, man.
Ooh, Itachi had the flip reset, but he couldn't grab it. And on that last defensive effort, Itachi didn't have many good options on that last carry as Cassio bangs that out to the corner. And I think he knew that that shot was going to be coming, but that light touch gave him the opportunity to just force it back out to the corner and turn that into a quick counter play. So I think Itachi actually picking the better option that he had and kick down in midfield. Top Blokes. And they might just already be looking towards Game 5 at this point. Giants, well, all right, maybe not. Top Blokes get one that slips in from Archie.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. The defense a bit scrambled here as a double commit comes out from Itachi and Zamway. They both didn't know how to react to that hit. It was an awkward floater that got dropped in from Archie. And if you remember back to the Rams interview we had previously, everybody on Top Blokes constantly thinking with their mentality, you know, we've got this, we are the better team. And, you know, certainly with 47 seconds left, they know they can win this.
I think Zamway was expecting a pass or some sort of shot. Looking at his cam, he had pre-jumped earlier, expecting that shot to come way earlier than it did. And then as it just floated down, that's when it looked a bit silly in front of the box. We'll have to look at that one again later. If it matters, it might not. With less than 30 seconds remaining, Cassio up for this. But how does he set up the play? Archie was a little too low. Or rather, Cassio's attempt to get it to Archie was a little too low. However you want to look at it. Here's another chance if Cassio can get back to it, but Itachi will kill more time. And perfect slowdown by Itachi. Killing all the time left on the clock. And that's going to tie up this set. We just may go the whole distance in this match. We're tied up 2 apiece. Itachi, Zamway, and Steak recovering big time on the offensive half. And net themselves an emphatic win.
Yeah, this is a mental war between both these teams too. Vodafone Giants have the confidence going up against Top Blokes, knowing earlier in the upper bracket they took them down 3-0. So again, this is a rematch from earlier in the tournament. You love to see it, and you also love to see Top Blokes now keeping it close because this is a different game. This is one, not specifically in this individual game, but previously the ones they had won, it was much more decisive. They were able to break down the offense with the counterattacks. This time a bit more risky though. You notice Cassio going for some more midfield challenges, pushing up a little bit more and extending when he didn't have the speed to do so, and also the boost, Jorby. And I think that's what caught him.
Zamway on that last little approach, that just looked awkward. It did look like he was double committed and ended up being like, oh, my teammate's up for that. And now my teammate's not grabbing it. Panic. And that seemed to be what happened on that last play. So now we come to the crux of the best of 7. We're on Wasteland Night. You hear the war drums in the background. It's one of my favorite maps to play on. It gets all the adrenaline pushed. And at what better point in a series than to decide match point? Top Blokes have had quite a few good looks today against the Giants, but the Giants in their wins, they have scored in bunches and they have won dominantly. If Top Blokes win this, they'll have to make it a close one. I don't think they can outshoot the Vodafone Giants.
And I think the key for the Giants, if you want to look at their performance and continuing this momentum in the series to take it to match point is Zamwe. You know, a lot of talk about Itachi, the new pickup, playing a solid role on defense, but Zamwe is huge on offense. He needs to step up, keep going for those solo plays that we saw in the previous game. And also, we saw that in the previous series, Giants versus Team Queso. Zamwe was the individual player who was making a statement with his mechanics. You saw him go off the ceiling for a couple of plays. There was also a highlight reel that showed Zamwe popping off, going off the ceiling, saving that flip. He can do some crazy things with the ball if you give him the chance.
And it especially helps when you have someone like Steak on your team who just seems to have a really good mind on his positioning, and more times than not is winning that 50 for either Zamwe or Itachi to take. It's a great role to have on your team, a player win those consistently. And Zamwe even shovels the ball out to Steak, who can be dangerous on the striking himself. Oh, the sea parts on the blue half, and there's nobody in net for Itachi.
Yeah, and the ceiling is so confusing. That's why so many people love using it on offense. When that's banged off the ceiling, nobody knows who's supposed to go for it. It kind of gets put into the middle of two players on defense. That's why we see double commits happen so often with the ceiling pass. Giants make use of it, and you need to keep exploiting that. This time, it's not a solo play, but a team pass. And it wasn't a simple one that got tossed in the middle. Instead, something creative, bouncing it off the ceiling.
This is where I get scared for top Blokes, Turtle. Giants pick up this first goal. They're already putting pressure on them after this kickoff. If Giants get out to an early multi-goal lead with their inability to match Giants' offensive output, it's going to be really difficult to come back from that. They have to keep this ball out of the net, or the Giants are going to take this to match point. And Castillo will flip right under one attacker, but he just gets bullied out of the way by Itachi. And this is a tough spot for top Blokes to be in. Everyone's sitting on 30 or lower right now, trying to keep the ball out of the box, and they do so successfully for now. Oh, man. Zamwe was just hunting that pass. He was daring top Blokes to pass that ball. Archie wins another 50, but that one botched passing play was enough to put top Blokes right back into this position on defense.
Wow,
even here, they're going to have to retreat.
Yeah, that's crazy, too. The conscious play there from, I believe it was Zamwe, to toss into his corner instead of go for that instant gratification of a clear, instead keeping the possession. Now Itachi using the ceiling yet again. They don't want to go for the basic midfield passes. It's so hard to predict them, which is what top Blokes love to do on defense. Sit back, predict where the ball is going to go, and wait for that challenge to then go for a counterattack. You can't do it with the way that the Giants are playing.
Trying to control that midfield as well, thinking they could cover any kind of clearance angle that the Giants find. But then the Giants catch up to it. Here's a nice pass. Oh, maybe not nice enough. Flame diving for a hard pass and just could not connect.
Positioning wasn't enough far forward. Flame didn't read that power. It's a common mistake. Giants defense getting tested for the first time, I'd say, this game. Still consistent with the clears. And it looks like the Giants, they haven't been under too much stress, so you can see how they're taking it away from top Blokes on offense. If they end up losing that challenge, instant retreat, they can move forward.
So good at grabbing that ball and finding the transition almost every single time. Even there, cutting off that pass from Flame. And Castillo was expecting, that challenge to come down a bit more favorably.
Oh.
But then he has to retreat, and the top Blokes are back in their own corner again. So something's got to change with the positioning for top Blokes. And even when they do get it right, they get demoed. A minute left for top Blokes. Giants might not need a second goal, and looks like they might need that second goal. Archie snipes, and we got a tie game.
It's not the best hit from Itachi. Zamwe, you see him wanted to go up for that aerial, instead realized that Archie had him beat by a mile. He backflipped, panicking, attempting to get back in time with the recovery. It wasn't enough. Need to be a bit more patient there. Top Blokes, that's the one they've been waiting for. Maybe another one here. Off the backboard, it's Archie.
I'm pretty sure that this was completely by design. No, Archie, he just went for the boost. Like, I was watching on the far side. I was like, did they always intend for second man to go for that demo there? Because it felt like Archie was already cheating up on the play, but no, he just recognized it as soon as he grabbed the boost in the corner instantly. But that demo, what a swing of events for top Blokes.
And I worry now for Zamwe. That was two back-to-back mistakes on defense. He's got a shot. It's not the best. Seems like his performance has been lacking here in this game, where I wanted him to step up a bit more on offense, but it's the defense from him that has been a frustrating thing to deal with.
He only has where he has one save but only one shot on net. Top Blokes have only put 5. That's their 6th shot. Cassio has a little bit of space, and he almost snuck it through. Steak prevents the goal after Zamway just missed it. And the Giants feeling desperate. They want to move downfield, but Archie prevents it. Itachi back over to Steak. He flips by 1. Oh, Zamway tried to make Flame hesitate, but it didn't matter. The ball goes laterally out. Itachi. Steak pulls off. Cassio might have bought time enough, but no, here's Itachi. Can't find the connection, and Top Blokes squeak in their 3rd game victory, 1 away from the loser final.
How did they flip that around? Top Blokes, for more than the first half of that game, were under all the pressure. They even had conceded a goal. And they are so happy right now for Zamway because he had made that little mistake. If he had stayed down instead of trying to challenge that ball with the first goal that Top Blokes got, this could have been a completely different game. We could see the Giants ideally in match point. But Zamway got a little bit in his own head, and we've got the opposite result, just showing how important it is for every player to be a bit patient on that goal line.
Certainly difficult at times where, you know, Archie, I mean, when you get split like that on Archie, and he just picks you off and he gets a free goal, it's gotta feel bad for all the defensive stops that you did have, and all the times you did force the ball out in the corner, all the midfield presence you were able to build. It just, you know, Rocket League is a fickle game like that, Turtle. Everything can flip just like a switch. So it's
gotta get out of that too.
This is it now though for the Giants. They only have this game to win. Otherwise, Top Blokes move to the loser final to play Vitality.
And we've got to keep an eye on Zamway. Will that affect his mentality? Personally, as a player, you're not thinking about anything besides that one play you messed up on. That is redemption right now. That is the theme for Zamway in this game. He has got to make up for it, go for some kind of pass, make a difference on the field. Otherwise, he is going to be down on himself. Coach Rams has got to come in clutch for the other side on Top Blokes to keep them composed. It's going to be a nail-biter of a match point game. But Top Blokes still, if they can hold on the defensive side, you know they're going to take it.
Archie getting the first touch. We haven't gone to 7 games yet today, but if any match were to do so, this one would certainly be it. Itachi. Well, it's a double demo. The play will die in front. Archie will be able to get the clear out and cross the backboard. Oh, that's free for Steak, but he banged it off the crossbar. That was a great pass out in front. Steak used the rest of his boost to get that shot, but just a little high. Now Itachi again. Quick flipping off the catch. Has a little bit of boost to Feather and sets it up for Zamway, but he's met by Archie, and Steak also met by Archie on the defense. Again here for Flame. Kicks it out. Hard against the orange corner. Zamway grabs it again. Oh man, some of these are getting pretty close. Transitions are turning into a shot and then into another transition, but here's a nice catch from Steak. Zamway harassing the man in front, but Archie hops over him. Maybe another chance, but no, Cassio will throw it back out to the third.
The pace of this game has increased dramatically. Much stronger clears being hit. You can even see here as Archie booms this one across the field. No team wants to take it down for a slower dribble, which is fine by all means because it creates some pretty fast-paced Rocket League. You can expect a huge redirect if somebody's lurking on offense. It's all about how fast you can get up to the clear.
Both teams wanting that option downfield. If they're gonna make this transition work, they need to have a force ready to immediately win that 50.
Oh, the bump.
In the third. Oh, good save. Good 2 saves from Archie. His defense today has gotten Top Blokes out of so many sketchy situations, and he's gonna have to do it again here as the shot from Steak, actually Flame gets the hop in front. Archie's still the last man. Zamway has it out for Steak, and Steak has the goal for Giants.
We needed this good 50 in the side of the wall. If you're a fan of Vodafone Giants, that is the key to beating out Top Blokes. They can't predict where that 50 is going to go. There's no chance. So long as you win it, pops out directly for your teammate Steak with an easier shot on net. My goodness. I'm looking at the Top Blokes defense. At first, it seems like 2 players can hold down the fort themselves. They've got even a safety third man rotating in where there's 2 players in net sometimes. So if one gets bumped, they have it basically recovered. And still, the Giants are able to lock it down, and it's all because of that 50.
Oh, Archie getting that miss. Could have set Top Blokes up for something. But another long clear for the Giants. They held on to a one goal lead Uh-oh, that one slipped through. It's okay, the demo actually put Zamway in the perfect spot. Love when that happens. But they're still on defense, and a nice flip from Itachi. Now 2-on-1 the other way. Zamway tried to get the bump, but Flame avoids him to make the challenge happen. Still, top Blokes need a clear. Stake forces the ball through, maybe across the box, but Flame ended up behind it and got it out. Can they get a clear? Archie couldn't even find a touch. Itachi keeps this close. He knows he needs to shovel that out to Stake, who sneaks it by Flame, and the Giants walk all over top Blokes.
It is too much for the top Blokes to handle. We might get a game 7 with passes like that from Itachi, stuck in the corner, keeping it close. Nice little chip out. The Giants breaking down what seemed to be unbreakable is the defense of top Blokes. This is so surprising, especially after the comeback in the previous game. They're not down on themselves. The mentality has shifted, and they are confident with how they're moving down the field.
Crunch time for top Blokes if they want to end this series. Archie got the full tank, has the ball. Is just going to hope for a poor touch. He did get one, but the follow-up was much better from Itachi. Now Stake takes out the lead man, but Archie picks up another save. Zamway can only buy time for the rest of the Giants to retreat, because here comes Archie. He's got some boost, goes for the bump, and he misses him. Stake picks up the save, but another rebound for Cassio, and top Blokes slice the lead in half.
This is where you're scared. Think about what happened in the previous game. The defense from the Giants was just flailing all over the place, and even here, Itachi had backflipped earlier. A demo came out. This is top Blokes, resilient with their offense, and they stay in the game no matter what. If they're down by 1 or 2 goals, they're going to keep the pressure on.
Cassio's really favoring just going for bumps on the kickoff. It worked for them to win the last game. It didn't give them a goal this time, and they only got a minute to tie it up. Cassio, that ball sailed right over his head. He's going to make Itachi play it out to the side, but he won't force an iffy challenge for top Blokes to work with. Giants been good on that second man follow-up when they've needed it, but they're getting stretched right now on the back wall. Archie collects on the touch,
no, the double
collects on the ball, and collects on the
Flame.
goal. No, it's denied. I thought Archie had the pass, but no goal for top Blokes. Archie yet again can't find it. Flame keeps it locked in front of the box, but Stake very precariously handles that ball into the corner. Cassio can't get it around the second defender, and top Blokes come away empty.
This is pure chaos. The stress, so difficult to handle from the Giants. There was even a double commit in that corner, resulting in an opportunity from top Blokes, who threw the opportunity away. Still 1 goal lead for the Giants. Final 10 seconds. Surely something might break, but instead the clear all the way to the other side. Zamway, he doesn't choke this one. He clutches it out, and we have surely got a game 7, Dorby.
That touch, that bounce touch, whatever it was absolutely perfect for Zamway.
Wow, there it is.
And that will confirm a game 7. My, oh my. If Champions Field looks anything like game 3, Turtle, we might be here all night before we finally move to the loser final. That was an 8-minute overtime in game 3 where both defenses were just playing lights out, not letting anything by them. The Giants did the same thing to top Blokes on, I mean, how many times did they have a push where they finally had a shot on net? And how many times did they get denied? Giants coming up big on defense, but more importantly, Zamway with the insurance to clutch it out at the end.
That is the big takeaway here in Game 6 was Zamway with the final, not necessarily the final goal, but the security goal that you mentioned, Jorby, because he had made those 2 previous mistakes in the other game that led to match point for top Blokes. For him to get out of that mental rut and be confident now, we could go into Game 7 and expect some great things from him because he's got a lot of skill. Meanwhile, on the other side, still some great performances from Archie. You think back to that double commit in the corner, they almost opened up a shot. I think top Blokes should have been able to tie this one up. It was pure chaos, like I said, in the defensive side of the Giants. I don't know how top Blokes didn't run away with a goal.
So Archie had 6 saves in that game. He had 9 saves in the game before that. I think the game before that, he also had over 5. So Archie's just trying to run up his points total on the amount of saves that he's getting. But he's just so quick on his recoveries in net, and he always finds the save. The Giants, you know, they have to be so frustrated that they can't score even more often when Archie's playing that well. But I thought Flame had played well on defense as well and on the transition. But this is it. This is it, Turtle. We're at Game 7. We're on Champions Field.
We
It's our
finally
first
made it.
Game 7
This is
of the
what we
day.
needed.
Let's
This
go.
is what we needed.
Let's go.
Game 7 from Top Blokes and the Giants. Who's going to go on to face Vitality? What more could you ask for, Joe? We got that 7-minute overtime. Now we're jumping into Game 7. Before, for the Giants, what turned that previous game into their favor was the 50s. Will we see another 50-50 in the left side of the corner that forces somebody from Top Blokes to be in an awkward situation? Something has got to change.
And if Top Blokes can't get the offense going early, do they go for that creativity we saw at the end of Game 6, those cheeky bumps in front by the lead man, or a feigned passing play somewhere, something to trip up this Giants rotation, which is proving to be stalwart. And Game 7, it could be defense that ends up being the difference. Steak pops it up high for Zamway.
Oh, baby, Zamway.
And Zamway let it drop.
Oh, no
Got the
way.
bump. Zamway doesn't get the goal. It was saved, but he almost found it to Itachi. Steak puts it on target. Cassio jumps in front. And Top Blokes, while it looks scary, you're happy with the goal that you get out of it. Completely swung. It's a Top Blokes lead.
Top Blokes were totally fine with letting on a couple of shots. But what do whenever Zamway fakes it? It almost rolled in. Somebody had made the recovery. The angle was too tight for somebody on Giants to recover and make that shot. And then you turn it around, Top Blokes with a massive clear. How can you predict any winner in this instance, Jorby?
Absolutely can't. Cassio, that goes straight down, and a nice catch by Zamway, but he actually had trouble handling the ball after. Archie, the challenge back over to Flame. Now Top Blokes, all about starting to suppress this transition game from the Giants. That's not a good save, and Archie can't put the shot in. Itachi was there for the save, but another pass comes, and Flame can't find the net. He knows he has to stretch as Itachi was flying across the net. There's a transition again, and Stig burns him. Tie game.
I need to slow down for this play. Was this a pinch? This got so much speed. Oh my goodness, it wasn't. He just hit it with the edge of his car. The way that ball flew into the back of the net, it looked like it maybe had pinched off the defender. That was an incredible shot from Steak. Oh my goodness, the clutch factor, baby.
That shot from Steak, Turtle, I think really encapsulates this entire match. A game of pixels. Every single pixel matters, and Cassio misses it by a pixel. Itachi will have to contend with Archie yet again, who just is impenetrable when he's the guy in net.
To find that shot earlier for Steak, you have to time that flip with your car to barely skim any part of the ball to get that much power. That's why it looked like such a crazy pinch to me. That is unreal. Vodafone Giants, they come out with some nice mechanics. Top Blokes, the defense, as always, looking strong. That's off the backboard. Somebody's got to have a follow-up save from Itachi. Defense now on both sides looking good.
I love that whole approach from Archie, Turtle, on that initial pass. Hang on, he might have the goal. No, it's just a little high. But he feigned going for it. It was a long passing play, and he saw the
bump.
Giants thing on Zamway might have the goal. Archie
faked. Did you see Itachi that was flying from the midfield to try and get a bump? He found contact, set up Zamway. It's the solo plays, too. If the Giants can find better solo plays, I think they've got the favor in Game 7 with plays like that.
Flame just flips it up, and it's going to be tough to find those solo plays with how well Top Blokes have played on defense. They've handled themselves in extended pressure situations excuse me. I wouldn't say excellent. There have been times the Giants have certainly won the war of attrition, but they've won a few battles themselves. Top Blokes, high ball, but Archie on no boost will pick up the next save. They need this clear. The rest are two players on no boost. Cassio the only one with anything in the tank, and he gets a massive win on the 50. Allows some boost pad pickups, but everybody's still working on 12 or lower, and they can't score. Here's another shot. They can! Itachi shoots, and he puts another one in for the Giants.
How do you stop Archie from getting every save known to man? Well, you take all of his boost. He surely would have gotten a challenge there in front of the box, but had nothing in the tank to go for it. Set up the flip reset. Somebody's crashing the net. The Giants march forward with their offense.
Top Blokes, they have really struggled to come back when the Giants have a lead. It's only happened once in this set. Itachi wraps around, and Cassio has to handle this close. He knows that second man for the Giants are always going to be close to the follow-up. Archie, nice pass, nice goal, Flame scores!
And then when Archie does have boost, he's going to come up and do this. He wraps himself around the ball. Itachi doesn't have the best flick. Castillo actually bumped a little bit of Itachi who was rotating back. Maybe that delayed some of the save to come out. And at the end of the day, Archie, that was a lovely pass around the ball. Top Blokes, they can do it all. If they're getting the saves, they'll push up on offense and surprise you with some incredible passing.
Oh, Steak almost found the net. Zamway slows it down, and now Itachi keeps it close. Has the pop-up on the air dribble. Got that pass out, but it's denied. Again, this time Castillo has to handle the ball, and he does so well to get the clear out. Flame tried to get the dunk read, but Itachi gets it back to Zamway. Slowing it down off the pump. Archie has one touch, and he's got a second. Flame, does he have Itachi beat? No, Itachi wins this bout. Steak gets under it. That shot looks good, Castillo and Archie combine to fuse for a save. Archie can't win the touch. Flame back over to Castillo, but he had to dive for the touch. Steak gets it back out to Itachi. Archie, last man back, answers the call yet again. Flame has to handle this ball carefully in the corner. Otherwise, Zamway is going to end their dreams right here. Itachi flips into it.
What's he got?
Can he get the touch? No, Castillo was already there. Now the Giants on the catch again. Giants trying every single mix-up they have. Zamway flips in front. He missed it. And Archie made it difficult anyway. Castillo, another challenge in front. The Giants just keep marching forward, but somehow Top Blokes have the fight in them to throw away another attack. We just might have overtime. Itachi wants one more go at it, and it drops to the ground. Game 7 OT.
Game 1 and Game 7 have been the exact same way. We've seen midfield presence all from Vodafone Giants, but Top Blokes have been able to hold on. Now we're just waiting for something to break down in the rotation of Top Blokes, or will they get that counterattack that we've seen all series long?
Oh, Steak makes a couple nice moves. He makes more nice moves, and Castillo dumps the ball back downfield. But the Giants still retain possession. Archie cuts off the long pass to Steak. Castillo hoping for a favorable 50. He gets one, and he also gets bumped by Itachi, but he comes back down in front of the ball. Castillo almost given the gift that he absolutely wanted, and Steak kicks it away. But Flame will grab the next rebound, Turtle. Well, Archie come back high on that ball. You see the rest of the Giants, they're sitting back. Steak hoping for the boost to spawn for him, and it did.
Oh no.
Ball will move right back to Archie. Tries to shoot it far side. Steak, he misses. Oh, and Zamway comes back to pick up the save. Top Blokes lurking for the final goal, the one that puts the dagger in the Giants and sends them onward to face Vitality. The Flame can't find any leeway. Archie coming back, it's saved again, right into Steak's bumper.
Oh, nice little play from Steak, forcing the 50 in the midfield. You have to make safe measures like that if you're on the defensive side pushing out. Go for the 50s. Don't rush the clear. As soon as you give away possession with how good Top Blokes have looked on those counterattacks, you give them free range to do something like that across the pitch, it's going to be over.
Battle for midfield, a battle for the loser final, a battle to contend for this regional. Who comes away the last goal, the last victor? Castillo launches it downfield. Steak handles the next off the backboard. Archie slows it down. Tried to wrap, but could not complete it. Archie back again. He's got a little bit of boost. He gets the dunk. Now Giants got a stretch off the crossbar. Castillo couldn't find it, and Itachi keeps the Giants alive. Working it back around the corner, and he gets the clear to get the Giants out of a tough situation.
I thought it was going to be Top Blokes stuck on defense for the entirety of this overtime. But Itachi, alongside the Giants, have been forced back due to the overwhelming offense of Top Blokes. And now that was almost a great play from Archie. The creativity, the mechanics, everything coming out from either teams. It is so evenly split. The skill that might bounce in, it doesn't. Off the corner, they're still alive.
Castillo gets in front. The follow-ups much better from Top Blokes. And part of what helped them stay off of the blue half. They haven't been as relaxed on it, but these 50s are not going their way, and they're looking very dangerous every time. Itachi gets in front on the pre-flip. One touch, gets the second, but Flame grabs the ball away. Here comes Zamway again. He grabbed it off the ceiling. But Castillo, no, that was all Zamway. Archie's got a stretch, and he can't do it. Zamway absolutely flicks everybody out. He takes down Top Blokes himself, and the Giants move to play Vitality.
Zamway's recovery to go on the ceiling, fake the hit, and land on the backboard with one of the tightest angles we've seen all tournament long. That has got to be one of the best shots. Zamway, he was in his head. He had made a couple mistakes that allowed Top Blokes to go up to match point. But in game 7, he fought back and he gets them a chance at grand finals.
What an overtime. That was a fun one.
Dude.
Can Giants Vitality be that fun again? Let's do that again, Turtle.
The shot from Zamway. I'm still on that shot.
I know, that shot was...
I don't know how we got it.
I don't know what you want me to say, man. I don't know what you want me to say. That was... You talk about 4-head, 5-head. That's a 100-head play from Zamway, okay? Nothing was working on offense. They pulled every single trick out of the bag. And then Zamway had one last encore to show them. So that was excellently done. But Top Blokes put on one heck of a fight. That was anybody's game. You play that match back, classic 50 times. One team wins 25, the other wins 25. You know the deal. It was awesome. That's one you definitely go back and watch again later. But
yeah, definitely.
Turtle, we got another game, and it's for the honor of going to play Team BDS in the grand finals. Will it be Vitality again, or will the Vodafone Giants find their way back to the grand finals? We'll find out after the break.